I'm with Franz Fayot, Minister of the Economy with the Luxembourg government. Thank you for joining us today. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Stuart. I'm good.
Well, we're here today to celebrate asteroids and space. And so the first thing I'd like to ask is what fascinates you personally about space?
Well, um, the the answer may surprise you, but I'm actually just a big fan of science fiction. I'm as a Luxembourger, I'm the same nationality as Hugo Gernsback, who is sometimes termed the father of science fiction. And I grew up with references like Star Wars or Stanley Kubrick's Space Odyssey. So I'm just was always fascinated by the subject. And nowadays, as a Minister of Economy, I'm fascinated by the promises, economic, but also the inspiration that space offers. It's the new frontier for mankind. It's still largely unknown, and it is, I think, something that bears huge opportunities for mankind in improving life on Earth, in observing Earth, but generally also, of course, in exploring things like asteroids.
Mm. And that's your sort of personal background, and we seem to share quite similar influences, in fact, that has driven us into this situation. Um, Luxembourg itself now is a supporter of Asteroid Day, and how did that come about, and why is that important?
Well, Stuart, Asteroid Day is obviously is a fixture in the agenda of the United Nations, and it is also a very important rendezvous for all actors in the space sector, and obviously also for Luxembourg, something that is hugely important. Um, it is an important event in attracting people to space, explaining the role that asteroids play in the formation of our universe, and how we can explore their resources, and obviously pave the way to protect our planet and its future. Um, Today, Asteroid Day is an established major platform of international education and exchange about the resources, chances, and challenges of space. And that's therefore, in a nutshell, why our support for Asteroid Day is part of our long-standing and continuous engagement in space technology, policy, and economy.
You mentioned the space resources there, and this is something that your country has taken a leading role in looking at. And I wondered if you could just explain to me a little bit about the latest developments there.
Well, we have set up recently a Luxembourg Space Agency, which is now driving something called the Space Resources LU initiative, and which really aims at positioning Luxembourg as a pioneer in the exploration and utilization of space resources. We are the first European country which has a legal framework giving legal security and certainty for private operators who wish to explore and, at the end of the day, also exploit and utilize space resources. And we also have today, and that's a new development, together with ESA as a strategic partner, build up something called ASRIC, European Space Resources Innovation Center, which is a research center to create additional opportunities for European space innovation. Focus of this center will be on space resource extraction, processing, and manufacturing to advance sustainable space exploration. It's something which is there to further enhance Luxembourg's position as a European hub in the field.
And you talk about the space ecosystem and a commercial and an economic sphere. How is that evolving?
Well, it's something that is at the inception of that. I think that can be dated back to the 80s, where we set up the Luxembourg satellite operator SES, which was really a challenge at the time, which was really innovating for the country, which was a bit of a gamble also, but which worked out. SES today is one of the biggest satellite operators in the world, and it has really acted as a locomotive and as a driver for this whole space ecosystem. We then became member of ESA in 2005, and with the law that I just mentioned that was enacted a few years ago, we have given a strong signal to the international space community that Luxembourg is a center where you can do business, where you can set up your company and thrive. Today we have about 60 companies that are active in the field. We have about 840 jobs. Space is one of the main contributors. Is an important contributor to the national GDP, and so it's something that is quite successful and full of promises. So we strongly believe that it is something that we can further develop in the years and decades to come.
It's so exciting and absolutely fascinating, this ecosystem for space that you're developing there at Luxembourg. I wish you all the best with it. I'm hoping that you're going to make our science fiction dreams come true one day. And Minister Fayot, I thank you so much for your time and your support of Asteroid Day.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Stuart.